Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Knoxville Raceway here in Knoxville, Iowa, located on the Marion County Fairgrounds, where this evening the big block modified sprint cars get ready to tackle the Knoxville Raceway in a big 40-lapper here tonight, and we're going to bring you all the action here tonight on 39 Productions Facebook page as well as on G-Force TV. We welcome you into our live coverage here tonight. My name is Steve Ovens. We'll be calling all the action for you from the booth here tonight. Brad Ovens, our executive producer in the 39 Productions studios, going to be pushing all the buttons for us here tonight. And we want to send a big shout out to John Licata and Seth Miles for bringing us on board for the second time here, another event here with the big block modified sprint cars. And Dean Reynolds going to be race directing here tonight, as he's also helped bring on a sponsor here tonight for tonight's main event winner from the Super Dirt Car Series. So we've got a lot of fun on tap for you here tonight. You just saw Shane Andrews, the voice of the Super Dirt Car Series, roll through the screen as drivers continue to get out here and get some practice laps. There's the voice, sporting that Jumpin' Jack Johnson 12A paint scheme as he rides through turns 3 and 4. Shane Andrews, pretty new to iRacing here the last couple of months. So these drivers are just wrapping up with practice. They'll get into their time trials here in just a little bit. Gives us an opportunity to thank our title sponsor here this evening. Live broadcast being brought to you by the Albany Saratoga Speedway. And if you've been keeping an eye on the news, Albany Saratoga, one of the tracks that's going to be hitting the track for open practice coming up this week. Be sure to visit them out at the Albany Saratoga Speedway, and we thank them for presenting this live broadcast here tonight of the big block modified sprint cars. Quick Time Award tonight, $10 going to tonight's Quick Timer, courtesy of Grant Racing Engines. We want to thank Grant Racing Engines for presenting that Quick Time Award here tonight. Tonight's heats, all 4 heats are sponsored, $25 to win each. Heat race number 1 is sponsored by Andy's Speed Shop. Heat race number 2, sponsored by Barney's Sign Company. Heat race number 3, sponsored by the FX Caprera Car Companies. And heat race number 4, sponsored by Hig Fab Chassis. I want to send a shout out to Jerry Higby and all the folks down at Hig Fab Chassis for sponsoring heat race number 4 tonight. They've shared out the live stream as well, so welcome aboard if you've tuned in here on the Hig Fab Chassis page. Tonight's main event winner will get $50 courtesy of the Super Dirt Car Series. Thank you to Dean Reynolds and everybody at the Super Dirt Car Series for sponsoring that main event winner award here tonight. Second and third place, $20 and $10 courtesy of the Devil's Bowl Speedway. Want to send a shout out to everybody up in Vermont from the Devil's Bowl Speedway for sponsoring that award here tonight. A returning sponsor from the first broadcast race that we did, the Dixie Saloon, sponsoring tonight's Hard Charger Award. That's $15. Dixie Saloon sponsoring tonight's Hard Charger as well as B-Main winner. The B-Main winner will take home $10 at the end of tonight, courtesy of the Dixie Saloon. So not only do they transfer into the A-Main, they also get a $10 prize from the Dixie Saloon. And tonight's Hard Luck Award, the first driver not qualified out of the B-Main tonight, will be the 5th place finisher, and they're going to get a $10 award from Dad's Chassis by Weaver. So we've got a lot of great sponsors on board here tonight as practice continues on. Here from the Knoxville Raceway, we were happy that you've joined us here, whether you've tuned in on the 39 Productions Facebook page or on G-Force TV. One driver that I see making some laps out there is Bryce Bailey. Bryce Bailey recently added to the Max McLaughlin Racing esports team. He'll be sporting a Max McLaughlin lookalike, number 6, out there here this afternoon. Taking a look at the fast practice times here, and it is Bryce Bailey that's up on top of the leaderboard. 16.232 for Bryce Bailey. Driver who nearly picked up the win in the first race broadcast that we did, Rylan Turley. Currently second fastest. There you get a good shot of the 6. There's a shot of Rylan Turley aboard the 87. That is a throwback paint scheme for Jason Barney aboard that 87. Brett Wright aboard car number 14, currently third fastest with a 16.249. And you see Brett Wright coming out, a look-alike to his 360 sprint car, number 14, headed out onto the racetrack. Fourth fastest is Jordan Poirier aboard the 28. Last time, Poirier drove a look-alike to Steve Poirier's 28, and that's exactly what he'll be running here tonight as well. And right now, rounding out the top 5 fastest cars from practice, Jerry Higbee. Higfab Chassis, stand up and take a bow here. Jerry Higbee currently top 5 fastest here in our practice session. Give you a little bit of the info about tonight's race format. They're out here practicing at the moment. We will then go to time trials. Time trials scheduled to be 5 minutes where the drivers put their 2 fastest laps down. The first 2 laps counted by timing and scoring are the laps that they will take, and you cannot make contact with the outside guardrail or score any incident points on those time trial laps, or it gets discounted. Heat races, heat race number 1, 2, 3, and 4 will all be 10 laps in distance. Top 5 go to the feature, and the top 4 drivers from time trials will be inverted for those heat races. Tonight's C main, if needed, will be 12 laps in distance, which will take the top 5 to the B main. And then later on tonight, the B main scheduled to be 20 laps in distance. There will be a 5-minute warm-up session if they choose to use all of that time. And then tonight's feature is 40 laps in distance. The top 8 will be inverted for tonight's feature event. And I'm getting, as we're looking at Brett Wright's 14 car, I'm getting a note here that this is actually a paint scheme, a little bit of a throwback for Brett Wright back to his big block modified days before going sprint car racing. So Brett Wright sporting that paint scheme from about 5 years ago from a modified. Getting a look here at Frankie Caprara's FX1. Sharp-looking car there. I believe that was the graphic wrap that Caprara used in one of his last starts at the Moody Mile in Syracuse. Caprara, who ran top 5, got into some trouble in the first race event that we covered here on 3-9 Productions. Ended up having to drive back through the field. That was an event that took place at the dirt track at Charlotte. Caprara drove back up through the field, had a great run, didn't have the finish that he may have had if not for the incident early in the race, but was fun to cover him flying through the field after that incident. Caprara will be one to handle here. But as practice gets ready to wrap up here momentarily, we're going to step aside here, get a couple words in from some of our great marketing partners here. When we come back, we will have live coverage of time trials and the heat races. Here, you're watching the Big Block Modified Sprint Cars here at the Knoxville Raceway. Stay tuned.
Introducing GeForce TV. GeForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GeForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GeForce TV racing leagues. GeForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GeForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GeForce TV.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Knoxville Raceway. Live coverage of the Big Block Modified Sprint Cars. Presented to you tonight, live broadcast brought to you by Albany Saratoga Speedway. Steve Ovens here with the call for you tonight from the booth. Brad Ovens, our executive producer in the 3-9 Production Studios. Going to make everything look and sound awesome for you here tonight as you get a live look here at the virtual Knoxville Raceway here in Iowa. We told you a little bit about the event format here. Let's talk about track conditions as we look around this racetrack here at the Knoxville Raceway. You can see the track really worn out here from practice. These guys have been practicing here for just over 33 minutes here, so the track is starting to really wear out. It's getting slick in some spots coming off the corner. And on the straightaway, as you see here from the, looks like the back stretch, actually this might be the front stretch camera here. But after practice is complete, the track will be re-groomed. We'll take it back down to about 15% wear for time trials and the heat races. That will also carry over into our C main and B main tonight. And then during the warm-up session, the track will be re-groomed back down to about 10% wear. So these guys will have plenty of bite to work with in the feature, and I think that's going to make for a pretty exciting feature race here as we are racing 360 sprint cars here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. Big Block Modified Sprint Cars. Be sure to go and like them on Facebook. It's Big Block Modified Sprint Cars. Just type that in the search bar. They've got a new page they've made for the series, and they've got an awesome-looking logo here for the Big Block Modified Sprint Cars. Shout out to the Super Dirt Car Series, putting up $50 for tonight's race winner. As you see, cars continue to work some practice laps here, just less than 5 minutes left to go in practice, and this might be a good opportunity to jump on board with one of these guys and kind of take the lay of the land here at Knoxville Raceway. You see Jerry Higbee flashing by here from HigFab Chassis, one of our sponsors of heat race number 4 tonight. Now let's ride around Knoxville Raceway here with Jerry Higbee. And you're going to hear him really working that throttle pedal and the brake. As again, this track is really slicked off here in practice. Won't be quite this slick when we come to time trials and the heat races. And look at him work the wheel. Working that wheel, working that pedal. Got a little high in turn 4 that time. But Jerry Higbee looked like he's got a pretty good ride underneath him here tonight. Now, that's another point that we should mention as well. All of these drivers will be working with the same setup here tonight. So it is a fixed setup race. That's the terminology that we use here on the iRacing platform. If they set the setup so that everybody has the same thing, and that's what they've done here. And you see that very commonly here with these league races and invitational type shows. And it's a pretty awesome sight to see. You see Higbee letting it go right up to the cushion and then bring it down off the corner. So we are closing in on the end of practice here. Your top 5 remains the same on the leaderboard, which we expect, as a lot of these fast times were laid down early in the practice session. And we've got the one car there sporting a Tim Fuller throwback paint scheme. And I got to double check my roster. That may have been a late entry here, sporting that Tim Fuller scheme. Pretty sharp there. So setting up here for time trials, getting ready to go for the heat races. Jerry Higbee out here continuing to lay some laps down, trying to work on driving lines and getting comfortable with this racetrack come our 40-lap feature later on tonight. There is an invert included here this evening as well, so we'll be sure to keep an eye on that for the heat races and the feature. Top 4 cars have been inverted for tonight's heat races. The top 8 cars will be inverted for the feature. So as they get ready to go with time trials here, let's take a look. I think we have covered all of our great sponsors that are on board here tonight, and we'll talk more about those as the race program rolls on. Practice coming down to their final minute here. And we want to welcome everybody that's watching here, not only on Facebook, but on GeForce TV as well. GeForce TV, if you're watching here on the YouTube link tonight, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to GeForce TV. They've got all sorts of great racing coverage, whether it's iRacing events, Ashweekend Speedway events, not only on the big track, but for the micro sprint races as well. You can also tune into Race Rivals Race Chat on Tuesday nights. Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross take you through the motorsports landscape on both sides of the border. And when you hit that subscribe button, that gives you access to all that great content. And when you hit the subscribe button, there's a little bell that comes up there as well. Be sure to click on that bell. That gives you notifications to your mobile device or your desktop anytime GeForce TV goes live with new racing coverage, whether it's a live iRacing event or on-demand content. You can find that on GeForce TV. Speaking of GeForce TV, coming up later on tonight at 9 p.m., live coverage of the Canadian Sim Racing Series Championship Round from the virtual Atlanta Motor Speedway coming up later tonight at 9 o'clock. You're not going to want to miss that. Live coverage on GeForce TV here on the YouTube side of things coming up later tonight. Don't miss out on that. Time trials getting ready to roll off here. 5 minutes is the amount of time they have to come on out here and put down 2 quick laps. And we'll see who is going to be at the top of the board here at the end of time trials. Remember, Bryce Bailey was on top of the timesheets with a 16.232 second lap in practice. The track has been regroomed down to 15% for time trials, so we may see times that are just a little bit off of that mark. And now times are starting to roll in, and early on, up on top of the leaderboard here in time trials is Rylan Turley in the 87 with a 16.672 second lap. Brett Wright now goes to second with a 16.746. You see Rylan Turley closing out time trials here after lap number 2 got put down. Jordan Poirier now goes to second with a 16.694. So Poirier with a Steve Poirier throwback paint scheme. Glen Reinhart, who was a late addition here this evening. Reinhardt now goes to third fastest on the board, and Reinhardt is sporting tonight No, I think I had Reinhardt mixed up with somebody else. Glen Reinhart with a Jeff Strunk look-alike scheme. So Reinhardt goes to second, Poirier is third, and now coming in fourth fastest is Bryce Bailey. The Max McLaughlin Racing Esports, number 6, 16.740. And now Chad Homan in the digtrack.com, number 91, 16.739. 1/1000th of a second better than Bryce Bailey to take over fourth. But right now it looks like Rylan Turley up on top of the leaderboard. And it looks like that's maybe the way it's going to stay. We've got a couple drivers that have not taken time here yet. We'll see where they stack up amongst the rest of the pack. But right now it looks like Rylan Turley in car number 87. 16.672 seconds around the Knoxville Raceway, half mile here at Knoxville. So I see we've got lots of folks tuned in here anyway on the 39 Productions Facebook page. We're going to monitor that as well as GeForce TV. If you've got any comments, let us know where you're watching from. If you're tuned in here on the 39 Productions page, be sure to let us know where you're watching from. City, state, maybe Canadian province. Let us know if you're watching outside of the country. And it looks like that is going to wrap it up for time trials. They should be rolling forward here any moment. So, if it stands the way it is right now, picking up the Grant Racing Engines Quick Time Award, $10 is going to go to Rylan Turley. So Ryan Turley going to pick up the Grant Racing Engines Quick Time Award, $10. We want to thank Albany Saratoga Speedway for presenting tonight's racing action. Live broadcast brought to you by Albany Saratoga Speedway. Be sure to check them out. They're going to be hitting the track for practice. I think they've got several sessions planned, so be sure to check that out at the Albany Saratoga Speedway. Andy Speed Shop also sponsoring a heat race here today. Barney's Sign Company going to be sponsoring heat race number 2. The FX Cabrera Car Companies sponsoring heat race number 3. And you get a look there at that new big block modified Sprint Car Series logo. Dad's Chassis by Weaver sponsoring tonight's Hard Luck Award. The Devil's Bowl Speedway sponsoring the second and third place awards here tonight, $20 and $10. Again, FX Cabrera Car Companies, one of our heat race sponsors here tonight. Grant Racing Engines, the Quick Time Award. Hig Fab Chassis, sponsor of heat race number 4. And as we mentioned, Albany Saratoga, our live broadcast presenting sponsor here this evening. And it looks like heat race number 1 is getting ready to grid up here. And again, we remind you that heat race number 1 is brought to you tonight by Andy Speed Shop. Give them a call, 518-762-1333. That's Andy Speed Shop, sponsor of heat race number 1. Let's tell you how they're going to line up. Going away from the pole here is going to be Corey Heffron, who's going to be sporting a Jessica Zemkin Friesen look-alike machine aboard car number 51, starting alongside Brett Wright in car number 14, 360 sprint car competitor and former Big Block Modified driver, sporting his own throwback paint scheme to his Big Block Modified number 14. Row 2 to the inside, Chad Homan aboard the DickTrack.com, number 91. Crate late model racer in his own right. He's going to start from position number 3. Starting alongside your fast time trialer of the night, aboard car number 87, the Jason Barney throwback scheme. That is Rylan Turley. Rylan Turley aboard car number 87. Row 3 to the inside, aboard car number 39 is going to be Johnny Smith in the Tim McCready throwback paint scheme. Smith will be aboard the 39, starting alongside Steve Durham aboard the Marshall look-alike number 98. Yeah, Steve Durham, the Eddie Marshall look-alike scheme. Row number 4 to the inside, it's the voice of the Super Dirt Car Series, Shane Andrews. Shane Andrews aboard the Jumpin' Jack Johnson look-alike car. He'll be aboard the 12A, starting alongside Todd Moran, who, and I believe it was Moran that was a late arrival. Todd Moran in the Rick Lawback look-alike sponsored 1K. And out back on the pack will be the 18 of Pat Burdick in a Danny Varon look-alike number 93. So 9 cars will take the green flag here in heat race number 1. 10 laps is the distance here tonight, as you get a great onboard look here with Rylan Turley. Turley, of course, tonight's Grant Racing Engines Quick Time Award winner. $10 going to Turley, and Turley going to try and turn that into $35 as Andy Speed Shop presents heat race number 1. $25 going to the victor here in heat race number 1. The top 4 cars have been inverted from time trials, and we will take the top 5 to tonight's feature. So, Pace Truck will get ready to pull off the racetrack in turn number 4. Heffron, Brett Wright will bring him to the green here in Andy Speed Shop heat race number 1. Watching them dance off of turn 2 and into turn number 3. Brett Wright with a slider into turn 3. Takes over the top spot, but boy, that was close at the line, and Wright had him by 1/1000th of a second, but now contact between Wright and Homan. Wright sideways, Turley will go by. So your Grant Racing Engines Quick Time Award winner of the night, Turley, up to the 2 spot, trying to pick up an additional $25 here in heat race number 1. And Turley will do it. Rylan Turley up to the top of the leaderboard into turn number 3. No, Heffron got back by him. It's Heffron out front. And now down to the bottom lane with the slider was Chad Homan in car number 91. Turley slides back to 3. So Turley must have gotten out of shape trying to make that move on Heffron. Heffron reclaims the lead. Turley right there in position number 3. Steve Durham is up to position number 4 in the Eddie Marshall look-alike 98. Holman going to work on Corey Heffron, but couldn't make it happen that time off turn number 4. Turley will come back at him one more time as Holman going after Heffron for the lead. What a race up here for your top 3 spots. Steve Durham back there holding on to position number 4. And right now, Shane Andrews driving the race of his life to hold on to that 5th and final transfer spot. He's trying to hold off Johnny Smith in the 39. Look at the voice go. Jumpin' Jack Johnson Lookalike 12A through turns 3 and 4. And he's going to hold on to that spot here with 3 to go. You got to be smooth on the wheel. You got to keep it out of the slick here. You're already starting to see a little bit of a slick line down on the bottom starting to form up, more so down in turns 1 and 2 than 3 and 4. And we've now got 2 laps to go, and Johnny Smith knows it's go time. Andrews puts it on the cushion, and he'll hold on to the spot as they go to turn number 3. Got a little bit of movement up front, but we are watching the battle for the transfer spot as they come down to the line to take the white flag. White flag is out, presented by 3-9 Productions. And look at this battle for the lead. Heffron trying to hold off Chad Homan. Chad Homan going for that $25 award, and he's going to get it off turn 4. Homan wins Andy's Speed Shop Heat Race number 1. Second across the line was Steve Durham. Corey Heffron comes home 3. Rylan Turley starts 4th, finishes 4th. And Shane Andrews, how about a call for the voice? The voice, Shane Andrews, comes home 5th, and that will lock him into tonight's 40-lap A main. How about it for the voice? That is some exciting stuff right there. So there you have it. Heat race number 1 is in the books. That'll bring us up to heat race number 2. And heat race number 2 brought to you by Barney's Sign Company in Johnstown, New York. $25 on the line here for the winner of heat race number 2, brought to you by Barney's Sign Company. Going away from the pole here in heat race number 2 is going to be Brian Parr aboard car number 80. Brian Parr will start on the pole position here. And Brian Parr sporting an 05 Pat Abold lookalike scheme. Abold in that famous 05. So Parr will take that away from the pole position, starting to his outside. In a Ryan Watt lookalike car, that is Dylan Swinehart. Dylan Swinehart aboard car number 14. That'll bring us back to row number 2. Row number 2 to the inside aboard car number 6. The Max McLaughlin Racing Esports sponsored ride. That is Bryce Bailey. Bryce Bailey aboard the 6, starting to his outside. Aboard the Jeff Strunk lookalike 126, that is Glen Reinhart. Glen Reinhart in the 126. Row 3 to the inside, aboard car number 125, is going to be Shiloh Boyce, who's throwing it back to a Doug Hoffman paint scheme. Aboard that 125, starting to his outside, Jerry Higbee, the HickFab chassis. Number 97, actually just, 97 for Jerry Higbee. He'll start 6th. Row 4 to the inside will be the 30 of Tyler Topman. Tyler Topman aboard car number 30, and I believe that was... Actually, I'm not seeing him here on my roster. I thought that was an Alan Johnson throwback car. Starting alongside Super CD Colville aboard the 61. As we come to the green flag off of turn number 4, green lights are on. And look at him, 3 wide right off the drop of the green flag is Bailey, very aggressive on the start. Took him 3 wide into turns 1 and 2, and he's going to lead lap number 1. So Bailey goes to the top of the leaderboard. Battle's going to be on here for second between Swinehart and Reinhardt. Say that 3 times fast. Oh, Brian Parr's upside down. The Pat Abold lookalike 05 puts it on its lid in turn number 1. We'll go back to the top of the heap here, and it is Bryce Bailey out front. Recently announced a partnership between Bailey and Max McLaughlin Racing. They formed up Max McLaughlin Racing Esports. And it is Bailey out front. Driver out of Waverly, New York. Just a hop, skip, and a jump here from our headquarters here in Turn 5 Media headquarters. Reinhardt holding down that 2 spot, and right now CD Coville holding on to position number 5. That would lock him into tonight's A main. Riding on board here with Tyler Topman. Let's see if we can get a close-up look on Topman's car. I'm pretty sure that was an Alan Johnson. Yeah, 14J paint scheme there. The friendly Ford look-alike ride. He is battling right there with the 125 of Shiloh Boyce. Battle for the lead off turn number 4, and it has continued to be Bailey. Reinhardt settling in here for second. They know they're in the show if they stay right where they are. Coming up on 2 laps to go this time, and it'll be 2 to go. Popsicle sticks in the air from Dave Farney off turn 4 for Bryce Bailey. Down the back stretch they work, and Reinhardt starting to close in ever so slightly into turn number 3. Couldn't make a move though. Bailey holds on to the lead here at the white flag. White flag presented by 3-9 Productions. And it is for Bryce Bailey. Reinhardt got caught up behind the lap car there off of turn number 2. Reinhardt really aggressive down on the bottom. He'll get by the lap car, but he will not get by Bryce Bailey. Bailey picks up the win. Oh, and one car slides to a stop before he got to the checkered flag. I don't know what happened to Dylan Swinehart, but he's going to finish 7th, and he was in a transfer spot. Actually, he's going to come home 8th. Crazy turn of events there. Your top 5 transfer is going to be Bryce Bailey, Glen Reinhart, Jerry Higby, CD Coville, and Andrew McGill. So Andrew McGill sporting the Jesse Mueller 19 ride will put it in the show after a tough break there for Swinehart. That will bring us to heat race number 3, and heat race number 3 is brought to you by the FX Caprara Car Companies. And starting on the pole in the FX Caprara Car Companies heat race is Frankie Caprara, the FX Caprara Honda sponsored FX1. Frankie trying to keep that $25 in-house here tonight. He'll take it away from the hammer. Starting alongside, that's Bruce Hilton and the Smith brothers. Tim Fuller, 74. What a sharp paint scheme that is. Bruce Hilton along the outside of row number 1. Driver out of Stanley, New York. Row 2 to the inside will be Brad Patton in car number 1. Patton aboard car number 1. He'll start alongside Jordan Poirier in car number 28. A Steve Poirier look-alike ride aboard that brightly painted number 28. John Licata will take it away from position number 5. He'll start on the inside of row 3. Licata aboard the Ken Bren Jr. look-alike 24 machine. He'll start alongside Billy V. Billy Van Inwagen aboard car number 4. That's a look-alike to his ride. Dave Axton throwing it back to his big block modified days aboard the triple ones here this evening. Axton will start alongside Jimmy Phelps in that Maynard Troyer throwback. That is a paint scheme that Jimmy picked up a win at the Syracuse Mile, the small block race in 2015. That was the finale at the fairgrounds. So he'll be aboard the J&B Installations number 6, and out back on the field will be the 43, of Keith Flack. Keith Flack aboard car number 43. So you've got a great mix here. You've got drivers, you've got fans, you've got crew members. Everybody coming together here for the big block modified sprint cars. Green lights are on, and look at them. What a great start that was. And Caprara will take the lead as they go 3 wide behind them. Look out. Cabrera leads out front in the FX1. Oh, and here comes Jordan Poirier with a little kick in the keister to Bruce Hilton that time off turn number 4. Poirier will take over the 2 spot into turns 1 and 2. Hilton right there with him aboard car number 74. And now down to the bottom side of the speedway comes Johnny Licata in the 24. That is an awesome looking paint scheme. The Ken Bren Jr. lookalike ride. As now Licata is going to have to hold off Billy V, but here comes Jimmy Phelps. The Baldwinsville Bandit puts it on the cushion, and he is going after that final transfer spot. Actually, he's taken over the final transfer spot. He took that away from Billy Van Inwagen. So right on board here with Jimmy Phelps, currently holding on to that 5th and final transfer spot on the bubble. As we've got your leaders trading sliders up ahead of them. Jordan Poirier getting racy here with Frankie Cabrera. Cabrera's going to nose it down to the bottom, try to get it, but he got the tires in the slick that time. 6 laps go on the board, and we've got 4 to go here in this FX Cabrera Car Company's heat race number 3. Poirier continues to lead them as they bring it off turn number 4. This will be his 2nd lap led here for Poirier. As Cabrera slides back to 2, Bruce Hilton solidly in the 3 spot. And right now the battle is on for the final transfer spot. Billy V, Jimmy Phelps, and Johnny Licata doing battle. And now here comes Brad Patton to the top shelf. Up top where Mama hides the cookies off turn number 2. Patton almost took down the guardrail in turn 2. He'll gather it back in. Coming up on the white flag this time by Elboy and Licata jump the cushion. 1 car is upside down. I think that's Billy Van Inwagen, but we've got the white flag presented by 3-9 Productions. And it is for Jordan Poirier. Who is going to go to the big show? Jordan Poirier's going to the big show. He's going to pick up the win. The battle's on for that final transfer spot. And Brad Patton gets by Jimmy Phelps with a slick move in turn number 4. And you could see that move coming. Phelps had to pull the slider going into turn number 3 to get by Patton to reclaim the 5th spot, and Patton just simply turned it back underneath him. So Brad Patton picks up that 5th and final transfer spot. And that's going to bring us to tonight's B main. No need for heat race number 4 tonight. No need for the C main. So being that we did not have a heat race number 4 tonight, we want to thank Hickfab Chassis for sponsoring that heat race tonight. A great job by Jerry Higbee and all his crew. Appreciate them sharing out the social media content as well. And that will bring us up here to our B main tonight, which is, of course, presented by the Dixie Saloon. Dixie Saloon sponsoring $10 to tonight's B main winner. And it looks like we are going to take 9 cars out of this one. Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineup here as they get ready to roll off. Johnny Smith aboard car number 39 will take it away from the pole position. He'll start alongside Shiloh Boyce. Row 2 to the inside is going to be Jimmy Phelps. In car number 6, he'll start alongside Brett Wright in car number 14. Tyler Totman in the AJ Slideways Alan Johnson lookalike car will start alongside Dave Axton. A throwback to his big block modified 111. Pat Burdick tonight, sporting the Danny Varon at number 93, will start alongside Dylan Swinehart. And actually, that looks like Todd Moran in the 1K. Billy Van Inwagen and the 43 of Keith Black will make up your next row. And out back on the field is going to be Brian Parr aboard the Pat Abold lookalike 05. So as it stands, it looks like we're going to cut 3 cars out of this one as we will take the top 9 to tonight's feature event. 24 cars will start. There's 9 spots remaining in the field. Let's find out who's going to win it here. Dixie Saloon and Hit Fab Chassis present tonight's B main, and we are green. Boy, Phelps got aggressive there on the start, tried making it 3 wide, and then Tyler Topman come in there hot, trying to make it 3 wide as well. As they are working, it looks like, one car having trouble there in turn number 1. All sorts of sideways there. As they bring them off turn number 4. Oh, look out, contact there. Johnny Smith, the 39. Pat Burdick in the 93 is wall riding it down the back straightaway. Burdick will gather it back in. We race on. And you're going to ride on board here with the high side racewear, 111 of Dave Axton. Axton currently up to P3, and boy, he got close there in turn number 3. Axton, a throwback there to his big block modified. Currently holding on to position number 3. Right now we'll go back to the top of the board. Shiloh Boyce aboard the 125, a Doug Hoffman throwback. Sharp looking race car, but he has got Brett Wright in a throwback to his big block modified from about 5 years ago, charging in. Wright, a 360 sprint car competitor these days. Now takes it to the outside, puts it on the cushion, and he's going to drive right around Shiloh Boyce on the outside. New race leader into turn 3, it's Brett Wright. And Brett Wright might have a little connection issue there as well, as that car blinking in and out just a little bit. We catch that every once in a while. That could be several things between software and internet connection. Dave Axton trying that slider line that time going into turn number 3. As you get a good peek there at Shiloh Boyce in the 125 off turn 2. Dave Axton right there with him. Tyler Topman, Billy Van Emwegen battling for position number 4. Billy V will put the 4 car to the 4 spot. 1 car getting into the outside wall there in turn 4. We race on. And now Jimmy Phelps will start to close in on Tyler Topman there for position number 5. Riding on the front nose here at Jimmy Phelps is number 6. Bringing it off at turn number 4, and Phelps will tuck into line about 3-4 car lengths back to Topman, who's sporting that AJ Slideways Alan Johnson look-alike scheme. Coming up on the white flag this time, and it is for Brett Wright in car number 14. White flag is out. Wright leads them through 3 and 4. Or 1 and 2, excuse me. Past the National Sprint Car Museum and Hall of Fame and into turn number 3. Off turn 4, Brett Wright is going to pick up the $10 award from the Dixie Saloon for winning tonight's B main. Second across the line will be Shiloh Boyce. Dave Axton will finish 3rd. Billy Van Emwegen 4th. Tyler Topman 5th. And then 6 through 10 will be Jimmy Phelps, Brian Parr, Johnny Smith, Pat Burdick. Your top 9 that'll transfer to the A main, and finishing 1 spot out tonight. And picking up a $10 award from Dad's Chassis by Weaver is going to be Keith Flack. So Keith Flack going to take home a little cash at the end of the night tonight. Finished 8 laps down, unfortunately, in that B main. Not going to make the cut here for the A main. But he will take a little consolation prize home for his efforts. Warm-up session coming out onto the racetrack. We will step aside. When we come back, the starting lineup and the 40-lap A main for tonight's Big Block Modified Sprint Car Series. Stay tuned. You're watching live coverage from the Knoxville Raceway, live on 3-9 Productions and GeForce TV.
Introducing GeForce TV. GeForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GeForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GeForce TV racing leagues. GeForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GeForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GeForce TV.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Knoxville Raceway here in Knoxville, Iowa, where tonight the Big Block Modified Sprint Car Series presented by Albany Saratoga Speedway gets ready to take the green flag for tonight's 40-lap A main. Jerry Higbee and Corey Heffron are going to take it away from the front row. Your top 10 starters will be Frankie Caprera, Glen Reinhart, Steve Durham, Jordan Poirier, Bryce Bailey, Chad Homan, Bruce Hilton, and Rylan Turley. "40 laps is the distance tonight for the Big Block Modified Sprint Cars presented by Albany Saratoga Speedway, and we are green." He made a 3-wide pass right off the drop of the green flag, and it is Frankie Caprera who puts it on the top of the board. Caprera, the FX Caprera Honda FX1, and now they're still 3 wide for position number 2. Higbee gets freight trained up on the outside lane as he's going to lose 4 spots there. Now make it 5 going into turn 1. As the bottom lane is pretty good here to start with, and Higbee's just got to get back into his rhythm here. A lot of action early there for Jerry Higbee, who started this race on the hammer. Yellow lights are on. One car was up in the outside wall here right at the flag stand. And that'll put us under the yellow flag here for the first time tonight. 2 laps on the board. I see CD Coville heading down pit lane. Bruce Hilton got a piece of that. He's lost the front nose, and it looks like Shane Andrews, the voice, aboard the Jumpin' Jack Johnson 12A, all hitting pit lane. They all come down pit lane for a quick repair, and they have one quick repair to use here tonight. So if you get caught up in an incident and you got some damage, you can come down pit lane, stop in your specified pit box on pit road, and it completely wipes out all damage on your car. So they have one of those quick repairs to use. And it looks like it will be all green flag laps here tonight. So because of that, we will not have the ability to show you a replay here tonight. So our apologies for that. That is something on the iRacing side of things that is a little bit out of our control. So all green flag laps here tonight. Frankie Caprara is going to bring them back to the green flag. Jordan Poirier going to line up second. Corey Heffron started on the outside of the front row. He's currently running third. Glen Reinhart started fourth. He's running fourth. And right now, Bryce Bailey, who started seventh, has cracked into the top 5 for the first time tonight. Aboard that Max McLaughlin Racing Esports, number 6. Coming to the green flag, this time off turn number 4 is going to be Frankie Caprara, leads them back to green. Green lights are back on. Dave Farney waving the you-know-what out of that green flag, and we're back underway. Look at Ryland Turley down on the bottom side of the racetrack, trying to pick up some spots early here as Jerry Higbie's slide through the pack continues. He got caught up in a little bit of contact with another car a lap ago. Oh, look out, there's contact. Bryce Bailey's involved. Couple of cars up into the outside fence. And that's Jerry Higbie flipping off of turn number 4. Yellow lights are back on. And that started at about 5th or 6th place. Bryce Bailey and another car made some contact. You see Higbie on pit lane. He had to be towed back to the pit lane. So a tough break there for Jerry Higbie, who has got a throwback to his 97 modified. Let's take a look here at the replay, and you're going to watch Higbie down the back straightaway. Now the incident's going to start just ahead of him. Right there, contact between Heffron and Bailey, and then the field just came in and piled right in. Bailey was able to drive away, and you see Higbie there on the gas hard, trying to get that car to flip over, and oh, it got to its lid, but it wouldn't go any further. Now, the reason that that Higbie would want to do that is because once you escape out of the race and call for the tow truck, it's at least a minute and a half, if not 2 minutes, that you have to sit and wait for that car to be towed back to pit lane. Now, Higbie will have a fast repair that he can use to clear all damage, but now he's got to wait for that car to be towed back, and he's going to go several laps down in the meantime. Field will bring it back to the green flag, this time off turn number 4. It is Caprara and Poirier bringing them back to the green flag. Green flag is back out. 5 laps in out of this 40-lapper, and we're back underway. Ryland Turley, who had to start back in position number 10, clawing Turley's way to the front. Down on the bottom lane, here comes Turley in a battle for 4th. We've got a battle for the lead. Here goes Jordan Poirier with the slider into turn number 1. New race leader up turn 2. It is Jordan Poirier. But here comes Caprara back down to the bottom. Caprara with a slider. Oh, he wasn't there. Poirier kept the momentum up and Poirier will hold on to the lead. But now here comes Glen Reinhart down to the bottom. Reinhardt thought about the slider, it wasn't there. He'll tuck back into line. So Glen Reinhart trying to do Jeff Strunk proud in that 126 ride. And we are under the yellow flag. Yellow lights are back on. 8 laps in the books, and we've got trouble on the racetrack. You saw Hickman come through the picture there. He has rejoined the pack. And it looks like Hickman lost a lap with getting towed into the pit area. Actually, sprint cars, we should call it the work area. Getting towed to the work area. Got to get my terminology right here. Brad Patton there aboard the 1 machine. Looks like he might have gotten some involvement in that last yellow flag. He's going to bring it into the work area. And it looks like Patton will take his quick repair. Oh, didn't hit the pit box just right there. So Brad Oven's going to take a look for us here on the 3-9 Productions replay. See if we can figure out what put us under this yellow flag here on lap number 8. And we're going to watch Patton. Patton off of turn number 4. He's following the Durham Eddie Marshall look-alike, 98. And oh, look out there, 3 wide ahead of him. Oh, Johnny Licata got a piece of the wall, who then got a piece of Durham, who got a piece of Patton, and that puts us under the yellow flag. Johnny Smith got some involvement in that as well, aboard that Sweeteners Plus Tim McCready throwback paint scheme. So those drivers will head to the back of the pack here, and it will be a single file restart here. Single file restart is the call. Trying to get some laps put on the board here. Field didn't really bunch up too well, but we are going green flag racing. Several guys caught sleeping there on the restart. And now Reinhardt will go back down to the bottom lane. There's not a lot of moisture down there, but he's found just enough to be fast. As he closes in on Jordan Poirier. Poirier puts it up on the cushion off turn number 2. Aboard the Steve Poirier look-alike 28. Poirier, multi-time Empire Super Sprints champion. And there's Glen Reinhart, the big spring car wash and self-storage. 126 as we go back under the yellow flag. Yellow lights are back on. 4th time here tonight as Shiloh Boyce is in trouble. Boyce with a problem on the 125. He's got heavy front end damage on that Doug Hoffman throwback scheme. And he's going to slide to a stop there. A lot of damage there for Shiloh Boyce. And he, I imagine, must have got turned down to the inside fence. We'll take a look as they work it off of turn 2. He's following Brad Patton there in the 1 car that just had some trouble. Johnny Licata just ahead of them. Oh, Licata got the guardrail, and Boyce nowhere to go. Shiloh Boyce with a lap full of Johnny Licata's 24. And that puts us under the yellow here. Shout out here this afternoon to Albany Saratoga Speedway presenting the action for us here tonight from the Knoxville Raceway. Thank you to the entire staff out there at the Albany Saratoga Speedway. Modified racing on Friday nights. Be sure to visit Albany Saratoga Speedway and let them know the Big Block Modified Sprint Car Series sent you their way. They get on track for the first time here this week for practice sessions. I believe they've got a couple of those scheduled. Both practice sessions will see modifieds in action. And we want to thank tonight's sponsor for the winner's prize, the Super Dirt Car Series. Special thank you. Visit them online, SuperDirtCarSeries.com, for all the latest news, schedule, points, driver profiles, rules. You can find it all on SuperDirtCarSeries.com. SPERDIRTCAR.com. Super Dirt Car Series presenting tonight's feature event with a $50 winner's prize. Devil's Bowl Speedway covering second place at $20 tonight and third place at $10. Green lights are back on and we are racing to turns 1 and 2. Battle on for position number 3 as that is the 87 of Rylan Turley, the FX1 of Frankie Cabrera. Battles on for the lead, battles on for third, and now here goes Reinhardt. Slide job in turn number 2. Poirier will turn it back underneath him. Look at Poirier looking for the slider into turn number 3. So Poirier and Reinhardt trading slide jobs here on lap number 14. As you see the whole field come on through there, Reinhardt with a slider, and boy, Reinhardt might have enough to hold on to the top spot. He's now got to turn it back down to the bottom as Poirier got by him, but Reinhardt takes the lead at the line. New race leader, it's Glen Reinhart. So Reinhardt with the top spot by 25 one-thousandths of a second, and now he's going to block that slider line into turn number 3. A big block by Reinhardt, and he'll hold on to the top spot. And now you see Reinhardt, and you see this very commonly here at Knoxville as well as at the Eldora Speedway here on the iRacing platform. A lot of times that slider line diving all the way down to the bottom of the racetrack on entry and then letting it drift all the way out to the cushion off of corner exit can really produce a lot of speed here, and that's what you saw Reinhardt trying to do as he was trying to hold Jordan Poirier back. You see Rylan Turley here, the Jason Barney throwback car, got up on that inside berm, and boy, when you put that left front on that inside berm here at Knoxville, that car gets all sorts of out of shape. But Turley doing a nice job, working the throttle, working the wheel. Turley, who was so close to winning the first broadcasted event for the Big Block Modified Sprint Car Series, now takes it down to the bottom, battling it out for position number 2. Poirier got his car upset down on the bottom lane, and it's going to cost him. He's going to lose the second spot to Turley. But look at Poirier with the momentum on the outside. Battle for position number 2 into turn 3. Jordan Poirier, driver out of Canada, racing alongside Turley in the 87. Great battle there for the second spot as they continue to battle down the back straightaway. Bryce Bailey has clawed his way up to 4th. Frankie Cabrera slides back to 5th now as Poirier takes over the 2 spot one more time. Turley trying to attack down on the bottom. Could not make it happen, and as these guys have battled, Brad, let's check in on board here with Bryce Bailey. Look how aggressive Bailey is, up on the top shelf that time. Bailey aboard the Max McLaughlin Racing Esports, number 6, driver out of Waverly, New York, takes it down the back straightaway. And Bailey working on your top 3 as we now go under yellow. Yellow lights are on, and I think that might be Johnny Licata that is coming down into the work area. One car stuck up on the fence and will now pull away. Is that Dave Axton, maybe? Yep, Dave Axton lost the front wing on the high side raceway 111. I imagine Axton will probably come down into the work area to take his fast repair. Axton, who had a great run in the B main here tonight. Nobody ever wants to run in that B main. But it was a good opportunity for Axton to get some track time ahead of this 40-lapper here this evening. 23 laps are on the board, 17 to go. And I think the best racing is yet to come in this one, as we've got several drivers that have worked their way toward the front of the pack. And they are going to be charging here at the end. Let's see what happened. Jimmy Phelps is there in the 6. Phelps got tossed off the cushion, got into got into Brian Parr, who then got into Dave Axton in the 111. So tough break there for those drivers, as it was Phelps that was working the cushion there in 4. And it's so easy to do. The cushion is very rough. You can go over a lot of bumps, and if you do, it upsets the race car. And it essentially, you know, you get over that cushion and it spits you right back out into traffic. So here we go. Glen Reinhart, Jordan Poirier, your front row here, coming back to the green. Reinhart hits the trigger. And Bryce Bailey, with a nice move off turn number 4, has a lot of momentum on his side. And he's going to try and follow Jordan Poirier up to the top 3. But Rylan Turley is down to the bottom. Meanwhile, behind them, Brett Wright in the 14, one of our hard charger candidates here tonight, battling with Frankie Caprera to try to get into the top 5. Bryce Bailey with a big move. Look at him, 3 wide for second off turn number 2. Turley, Poirier, and Bailey battling it out. Oh, Poirier with a big slider on Bailey there in turn number 4. Watch Bailey, he's going to come right back at him with a slider of his own off turn 2. Poirier turns it back underneath him, and we go back under the yellow. Yellow lights on here on lap number 26. We got 3 on the board before going back to yellow. So that'll put us under the yellow with 14 laps to go. And right now, Bryce Bailey is absolutely the show. Let's take a peek here at this great race for position, as Bryce Bailey, Jordan Poirier, and Rylan Turley all doing battle for position number 2. You saw Poirier right there lose it on the cushion just a little bit, and look at Bailey down to the bottom, pulls the slider, and then Poirier through the middle of the slick. Turley on the bottom. Then Poirier goes to the bottom. He pulls a slider right across the nose of Bailey. I mean, you talk about some great racing there for the top 4 positions in this race. And Brad, another driver that we should talk about here is Brett Wright. Brett Wright with a throwback paint scheme that goes about 5 years back to his big block modified days. Wright is right now your candidate for the Hard Charger Award. He started 16th. He's currently into the top 5 now for the first time tonight after battling with Frankie Caprera. So Brett Wright at the moment in line for the $15 Hard Charger Award presented by the Dixie Saloon. Want to send a shout out to the Dixie Saloon, established in 2019 in Johnstown, New York. Dixie Saloon, the presenting sponsor of our Hard Charger Award here this evening. So it'll be a single file restart this time. Had a quick yellow. So they will go back to single file off turn number 4, and it is going to be Glen Reinhart bringing us back to the green flag. Green lights are back on. 14 laps to go here in the Big Block Modified Sprint Car Series. 40 lapper presented by Albany Saratoga Speedway. $50 on the line for tonight's A-Main winner presented by the Super Dirt Car Series. And Brad, that battle for 5th is heated back up one more time as Frankie Caprera has gotten by the 14 of Brett Wright, but Wright is going to turn it back underneath him. Oh, Wright got into the outside guardrail, spits him off of the cushion. Caprera will hold on to 5, and now here comes Bryce Bailey. Bailey and Poirier will battle one more time for position number 2. Poirier down to the bottom, but boy, he got all sorts of loose on corner entry that time. And now Bryce Bailey aggressively working the cushion, trying to close in on. Oh, look out, Bailey jumped the cushion. I don't know if he got the guardrail or not, Brad, but he is getting aggressive late in the race here. Look how rough that cushion is as that car goes over top of it. Into turns 1 and 2, and he's going to put that right rear, and look how rough it is. You can see it from that front bumper cam. Let's watch it now from the right rear tire, as now he changes up his line just a little bit, trying to mirror the line. Oh, and Ryland Turley's in the fence. Turley got into the fence that time in turn 4, and that's going to allow Frankie Caprara to close in. Heffron is right there, and now here comes the 91. We haven't talked about Chad Homan all feature race long. Homan is now trying to claw into the top 5. So Corey Heffron in the Jessica Zemkin Friesen look-alike Core Pack Merchandising. Oh, look out! Caprara and Heffron get together. They spin out in turn number 4. They keep the cars going, but I think we're going to go into the yellow. Yes, we do. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, that got big in a hurry. Yellow lights on here with 7 laps to go. And Corey Heffron and Frankie Caprara dicing it up there for positions 5 and 6. They get together. Heffron and Caprara both go around. And that puts us under the yellow. Let's take a look at the replay here. Brad Ovens with the 3-9 Productions replay, and we're going to watch on board here. You see how loose Heffron got coming off of turn 2. And then I think Caprara was trying to turn it down low to make a move for position, and Heffron was there. Couple of guys going for the same piece of real estate, no doubt about it. The contact was there. So caution out here with 7 laps remaining. And for the first time tonight, that's going to move Chad Homan into the top 5. And I know there's a lot of folks that are rooting on Chad Homan here tonight. I see he's got a lot of fans tuned in on the G-Force TV YouTube page. So Chad Homan has worked his way up to 5th. Let's see where he started. Homan started in 8th position here at the start of this race. Right now, your hard charger candidate is Billy Van Imwagen, currently up 10 spots as we go back to green. And you're going to ride on board here with Chad Homan as we go back under the green with 7 laps to go. Homan working the bottom lane. As look at Billy V closing in on him. Van Imwagen closed right up to the tail tank, got loose. He's going to lose a little bit of ground. But Billy V, who started 19th here tonight, currently up to 7th and looking for more. Bruce Hilton is right there with him. Hilton, who started 15th here. Actually, Hilton started 9th. What a battle we've got here for position. Holman, Brett Wright takes it back around the outside. He'll take over the 5 spot. But now we have got just 4 laps to go. Does Bryce Bailey have anything for Glen Reinhart? Reinhart out front in the Jeff Strunk 126. Can Bailey close in on him? Bailey recently announced that deal with Max McLaughlin Racing Esports to form up their iRacing team, and Bailey has been on a tear ever since. But does he have anything for Glen Reinhart? That's what we will find out here. Reinhart glued down to the bottom as Bailey's trying to make up some momentum on the top side. Couldn't make it happen that time. Down the back stretch, coming up on the white flag this time, and it is Glen Reinhart in car number 126. Oh, Bailey got into the guardrail that time. White flag is now presented by 3-9 Productions, and it is for Glen Reinhart down the back straightaway. Reinhart sporting the Jeff Strunk lookalike 126. Brings it through turns 3 and 4, and Glen Reinhart will get his first broadcast win. Presented by the SPERDIRTCAR Series and Albany Saratoga Speedway. Reinhardt's in there for the W. Bryce Bailey comes home in 2. Jordan Poirier will finish 3. Rylan Turley brings it home fourth, and Brett Wright will come home in position number 5. And with Brett Wright finishing in 11th, that is going to give Brett Wright the Hard Charger Award, coming home in 5th. Started 16th, he finished 5th. Billy Van Inwagen was right there in line for the Hard Charger Award, but he lost the 7th spot to Bruce Hilton coming to the line. And that's going to give the Hard Charger tonight to Brett Wright. And we will take a look and see what drivers are available here. We'll work on getting them into Discord, but one driver that we do have access to, we're going to take it down to victory lane, and we're going to hear from tonight's race winner, and that is Glen Reinhart. Glen Reinhart getting all the safety equipment undone. Again, the Jeff Strunk look-alike 126 car. Glen Reinhart, Steve Ovens here in the announcer's booth. Do you have a copy of this? So working on getting a word here with Glen Reinhart. Oh, there we go. I think we got him now, maybe. Let's see. Let's try Bryce Bailey here. Bryce Bailey, Steve Ovens in the booth. You got a copy here? So I'm not exactly sure what's happening here, but every driver that we try and get a word with is getting muted on our side of things here. So we will try and work on that here. Brad, I think we may have luck here. Let's try and move up here and see if we've got these guys. Glen Reinhart, Steve Ovens in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you.
Hey, there he is. Glenn, congratulations. You had a strong run out at the dirt track at Charlotte and followed it up here with a big win here tonight at Knoxville. Tell us about your run.
We're pretty good when it slicks off, and the slicker got the better we were going to be. And as the fuel burned off, it just got quicker and quicker.
Tell us, your car looked, pretty good. I know it was fixed setup out here tonight, but whether you went down to the bottom or rode the cushion all the way around or even through the slider line, that car looked stout for you.
Well, we turn a lot of laps here in practice with the team that I run with. I run with a TSR team at Tony Stewart Racing, and we run a lot of laps and a lot of practice, so that helps a bunch.
Tell us, we get a yellow there with about 7 laps to go. Take us underneath the helmet there for that final restart, and kind of what your thought process was. And I mean, you had a hard charging Bryce Bailey coming up behind you.
Yeah, I run with Bryce quite a bit, and I know he's fast, and I knew he'd be good. So it was I just wanted to get a good start there and hit my marks pretty much.
Well, Glenn, it was a great race here at Knoxville. We appreciate you coming out here and running with the big block modified sprint cars. Tell us about some of the folks that helped make it happen for you. And I got to tell you, that Jeff Strunk wrap on the race car looks awesome out there.
Yeah, I wanted to give Glenn Heineman a shout out. Today's his birthday, and I texted him this morning and said, hopefully I can get you a win for your birthday. So hope he's happy, and I hope Jeff's a little proud of me for sporting that 126. It does look sharp. But I'd like to thank, like I said, all my TSR guys that I race with online all the time, and because they keep me sharp.
Oh, they absolutely do, man. Congratulations on a big win here tonight.
Yep, thank you.
All right, there's Glen Reinhart finishing on the picking up the win here tonight. He'll pick up $50 courtesy of the SPERDIRTCAR Series. And now the driver that will come home in position number 2 and pick up $20 from the Devil's Bowl Speedway. Bryce Bailey aboard the Max McLaughlin Racing Esports number 6. Bryce, what more did you need there at the end? Because you definitely got close, got up to the tail tank there on that final restart, but what more did you need tonight?
I think I wrecked like lap, 8, and then I came back through. But by the end, I mean, Glenn had everything all figured out, and I'd never like found a true line because I was dicing through traffic and that missing the butt at the end. We were on him there for like 2 laps, and I missed the bottom, and then that was a good night from there. But overall, I mean, yeah, he ran a phenomenal race, and he just made a mistake early, then and it come back all the way through with. I'm happy we got back to.
Definitely. Tell us a little bit. We saw you, really ripping the cushion quite a bit tonight. But, boy, late in the race, it looked like it was getting pretty rough up there.
Yeah, I started running down up there, and then I biked it up really hard, and I'm like, all right, yeah, we're not doing that again because I think I hit my wing off the fence or something. It was pretty cool, but at the bottom just is the preferred line once Knoxville slipped off, and I was shocked 1 and 2 went to slider line. I thought it was going to go to bottom. But it was a very fun event for sure.
We referenced it a few times here tonight. Tell us about the new partnership with Max McLaughlin Racing Esports. That's a pretty cool deal for you.
Yeah, me and Max just kind of met through the whole Outlaw Invitational deal, and I started helping him with setups and just decided to come together and sports team. Working pretty good for sure.
Well, absolutely. We've seen you in several of the invitationals that we've put on and broadcast throughout this extended off season, and it was great to see you come out here tonight, and we thank you, and a great run for you to come home second. I know you wanted to get up there and get that win, but let us know about all the folks that helped make it happen for your team.
NASA Energy Drink, ABL, Motor Racing Development, Max McLaughlin, everybody that's part of this team. Dean Reynolds for telling me about all these events.
Well, a great job to you, and a great finish to come home in position number 2 here tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, there's Bryce Bailey. Comes home in the 2nd spot. Does not look like we're going to get a word here with 3rd place finishing Jordan Poirier or Brett Wright. Brett Wright was the hard charger here, plus 11 spots. And before we get out of here, I know you've seen some of the logos come across the screen, but I just want to, one more time, give a big thank you to the Albany Saratoga Speedway, our title sponsor of the live broadcast for you here tonight of the Big Block Modified Sprint Cars. Thank you to the Albany Saratoga Speedway. They'll be getting on track here this week. Grant Racing Engines presented the Quick Time Award here tonight. We want to thank all of our heat race sponsors, Andy's Speed Shop, Barney's Sign Company, FX Caprera Car Companies, as well as HigFab Chassis for providing all of our heat race sponsors tonight at $25. Big shout out to Dad's Chassis by Weaver, a Hard Luck Award tonight that went to Keith Black for $10. Tonight's main event winner picked up $50, courtesy of the Super Dirt Car Series. 2nd place finisher and 3rd place finisher picked up $20 and $10 respectively, courtesy of the Devil's Bowl Speedway. Our hard charger tonight, Brett Wright, will get $15, courtesy of the Dixie Saloon. And our B main winner tonight picked up $10, courtesy of the Dixie Saloon, and that was Brett Wright. And that is going to do it here. I want to send a big thank you out to John Licata, Seth Miles, Dean Reynolds, and everybody here from the Big Block Modified Sprint Cars for having us back to broadcast this race from the Knoxville Raceway tonight. And again, a shout out to Albany Saratoga Speedway for presenting the live broadcast for us here tonight. That is going to do it from the Knoxville Raceway. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you again next time. Thanks to all these drivers that came out and to all the fans for tuning in. And as it looks, at least here in New York State, it looks like we're going to see you real soon at your local dirt track, and we can't wait to see everybody out there. From the Knoxville Raceway, on behalf of our executive producer in the 3-9 Production Studio, Brad Ovens, my name is Steve Ovens, saying thank you for joining us, and congratulations to Glen Reinhart, winner with the Big Block Modified Sprint Cars.
Introducing GeForce TV. GeForceTV.net is your new source for action overload. Featuring free live programming year-round and countless hours of on-demand video, GeForce TV will be your first stop whenever you want to see the latest and hottest racing action. See live Friday Night Excitement weekly from Washougal Speedway, and watch the stars of tomorrow make a name for themselves during Thursday night's live microsprint racing. GeForce TV is also the new home for Rivals Race Chat. Watch weekly as Clinton Jeffrey and Adam Ross discuss all the hot topics in the world of motorsports. For iRacing fans, GeForce TV has you covered with hours of live broadcasting from Rivals and GeForce TV racing leagues. GeForce TV promises to deliver motorsports, esports, and action sports you want to see, along with talk shows and vlogs to keep you connected to the lifestyle you love. Visit GeForceTV.net today to subscribe for free. Sit back, hold on, and feel the G's on GeForce TV.